Hi, this is Ed Ritter with DFG Hosting. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on how to initially set up your VPS if you install cPanel and CentOS. The first thing you will need to do is once you get into your VPS Control Panel, which is just vps.dfghosting.com, and you'll just log in. Okay, so once you're in here, you'll have your control panel, and you can reboot, shut down, boot, reinstall. You have central backup, you have serial console. The operating system that I have installed is the CentOS 64-bit with cPanel. It's PHP 5.3.8 optimized. Basically, if you were to install by default, you can get just CentOS 64-bit, does not have cPanel. You can install it with cPanel. You can install the 32-bit versions, or you can install the 64-bit, which is already pre-configured for you. This makes things a lot easier having it pre-configured. Basically, Apache is already configured with all the optimal settings. The php.ini file is already configured for you, so if you're installing for the first time or your first setup, this would be the way to go. You can edit it from there, but this is going to save you a lot of time just to get you up and running. To connect to that, on Mac it's really easy. You just open up a terminal and just create a new remote connection, SSH. I'm going to connect to this. I'm going to connect to it in root. We really won't need to go in here, but this would be where I would connect. You can, on Windows, you would use something like PuTTY, which is the same thing. You just connect to it. Same way. Now, to connect to your WHM for the first time, you would just go to your IP address and 2086 and enter your password. And this is what you'll get for the first time. One thing you're going to want to have set up already is your private name servers. That would be another tutorial. We have those on dfghosting.com. You can go into the tutorial section under support, hosting tutorials, and you can just scroll down. There is a section in here for private name servers. Depending on where your name servers are hosted, or where your domains are hosted, you would just, once the tutorial for that, either Enom or GoDaddy or whoever, you will want to set up your private name servers. There's also some tutorials in here on WHM, which is the web hosting manager that we're in the initial setup series. There's a lot of tutorials in here which will show you how to manage it. There is also a section in here for PuTTY. If you're using a Mac, then it's going to be completely different, which there is some stuff in here for Mac, like Mac Mail and things like that, but we don't really need any of that stuff. These are just tutorials for you to go through. We're going to agree, and we're going to go to step 2. Now, I'm just going to use like mail at myserver.com. Just It would be whatever email you want. I would highly recommend using an email on a VPS or dedicated server that is not one that you want flooded, because everything that goes on with your server is going to get an email. So you'll just want to set this up and go from there. Now, I have this set up with Killigan, so I'm just going to call this server1.killigan.net. It does need to be similar to this. It can be server 1, server 003, it can be my server dot, whatever. You can leave the rest of this alone and just click save and go to the next step. You'll wait just a minute. Here's the IP addresses that I have. This is my main IP address, my secondary IP address. We're going to go ahead and go to step 4. These are just the settings that you can use. You can switch these however you want to. You can watch tutorials or look it up and see what you like. I use the bind. And in here what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter my name servers, which is ns1.killigan.net and ns2.killigan.net. I don't have any other name servers. I do want to click add A entries. I do want to do this. These are my actual IPs, so I want to put these in here. And this one here is like that. And then we'll just click save and go to the next step. Wait just a minute. There are 2 different types here. Depending on what you're using, you will want to just read and see which one you like better. You can change these now, you can change them later. By default, the pure FTPD is on. That's perfectly fine. Just use the devcot and leave the rest of it default and just click go. You may or may not want to use file system quotas. Just click finish. Now you're in your WHM control panel. You want to go into the server configuration, basic cPanel and WHM setup, and in here you'll see this stuff. Now, depending on if you already have your name servers and everything set up or not, you may want to go in here and just double check to make sure that this IP is your primary default IP address. If it is, that's fine. Then what you want to do is go to name servers and you want to assign an IP address, and then click close, assign an IP address to the second IP and name server, and then it should already have these in here, so you can go ahead and click close and then click save changes. Now you have one free IP address which you can use for whatever you want. If you have a site you want to put it on a dedicated IP, you can do that. The one thing that is not set up by default is the your ion cube. It's installed and configured, it's just not turned on. So you would want to go into the tweak settings in the PHP and then just check the ion cube right here. And that's it. Just click save and wait for it to update. And that is done. So that's pretty much it there. Now you can click on name server IPs, and well, you're going to have to re-log in because by default now cPanel is going to make you log in. So just accept all this. It's going to make you log in with an HTTPS. So now you're on an HTTPS, which is just a cPanel thing. That is the initial setup. There are different things you can do. You can go in and you can tweak your settings. You can tweak your security settings. You can go in here to your PHP configuration editor, which is the php.ini file. I have it set up default to to where you're not stuck with the 2 megabyte file upload limits and things like that. Register globals is turned off. File uploads is on. Things like that it's already set. you will want to go in and just watch those tutorials, but you're going to want to just have a, you know, I mean, you're set up. You can actually install a site in here now. You can actually transfer a website from another server. You can also go into the, let me see if I can find it here real quick. There's some plugins. Like for example, here is a antivirus plugin. Here's a game server plugin, which I'll do a tutorial on how to use it later. There's a cron config, which is really good. This is just a server monitor for you. And basically, all you do is click the button, click save, and it'll install it for you, and then you'll be able to find those in your add-ons once you have an add-on. And that's pretty much the basics of getting it initially set up if you use that option. I will probably do tutorials to walk you through manual setup and configuration, but this is the quick and easy way to go. And there's really nothing else you need to do to initially set up the server. You just need to make sure that your name's server IPs and domain are correct, and that you do it whoever is your domain registrar, and you'll do that based on your server's IP addresses, and that's it. So I hope that helps someone. If you have any questions, please let us know, or you can go to dfghosting.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.